Hello, fellow explorers of fantastic worlds and dreamers in general. This is the first episode of The Squid Speaks, my new podcast. Of course, I am not the squid. The squid's out the back. It's playing chess, about 5 games by itself. It's the advantage of having a separate brain in every tentacle. Gets a little weird when it does Greco-Roman wrestling. But, you know, each to their own. It's agreed to be my mascot so long as I supply it with a steady supply of steampunk submariners. So if you know any, tell them to come around to my place. It'll be fun for all. So this is mainly an introduction to the podcast, partly for myself to get used to the tech. And partly just to let you know what's coming up. So the first thing coming up, starting on Wednesday, is NaNoWriMo. It'll be my 5th time. Hoping it'll be the 3rd time I complete it. What is NaNoWriMo? Good question. It's National Novel Writing Month. National is, of course, international. Novel is, of course, anything that has enough words. And writing is generally typing, and month is November. All pretty straightforward. The aim is to write 50,000 words in November. Sounds big. Actually is kind of big, but it's doable if you want to do it. And you have the time. But you have to make the time, as the Merovingian said. Now, what's up after that? Soon I'm hoping to do a book review podcast. I've been doing a lot of reading since I finished the Masters, and so that'll include the novelization of The Force Awakens by Alan Dean Foster, the rather bizarre Voyage to Arcturus by David Lindsay in 1920. Obscure thing and weird. Well, not that obscure, but definitely weird. And The Lord of the Green Planet. I bought it because of its cover. And, you know, there's a lesson in that for all of us, which I will get to in the next podcast. There'll also be a side podcast project, the classical music appreciation of Capriccio, Wandering Capriccio. And that will be coming up soon because I will be attending the 3rd and final concert of the year of the Sydney Youth Orchestra, which is a wonderful initiative and a great bunch of young musicians who play some fantastic music. I've been to the last 2 concerts they did this year, and they were both really good. As you'd know if you read my blog, which I don't expect you to have, but if you have, then you'd know about it. And if you haven't, well, you can. You know, if it's your kind of thing. What else is coming up? The promise my Patreon for audiobooks. I did launch it a little prematurely, but I am getting there now. And I will start recording the first one, The Remarkable Case of Davidson's Eyes by H.G. Wells. A fascinating story about a man who starts seeing things from a different part of the world, and how that works for him. Mostly not well. Things tend not to work out for people in the stories of H.G. Wells. But that's why we love them. What else? I feel I'm missing something, but probably not. So, yeah, NaNoWriMo, actually. Back to that, to what I am doing with that. We're in the 5th year, same story. 3rd book, same story. It's my trilogy. I've always viewed it as my trilogy, although I'm starting to wonder about that and considering doing it a different way. we'll see how it all works out. But it does have a connection to the whole Giant Squid Creations vibe, because it's from that story that I got the giant squid. Well, not the one that is out the back. That was a separate arrangement we made, but the idea to make the arrangement came from this story, because I had a scene in there which actually goes back to when I first started writing this story as a campaign for Dungeons and Dragons, which I then started to novelize. And it's changed a lot since then, but I still have the giant squid. And I started to question myself on that. It's like, why do I have a giant squid? That's silly. I'm like, well, it's not. Or if it is, I don't care. Because I want it in there. It's something that I just have always loved, that idea and the scene. And wanted to keep it in there. And after reading a couple of motivational books by Amanda Palmer and Felicia Day, there were some things they said that kind of made me go, you know what? Yeah, the giant squid. That's part of my story, and it's going to be in there. It's staying. It's important now, and it's become a personal mascot, which is why I'm using it now. And of course, was lucky enough to find a giant squid who agreed to such an easy price for the use of its image, and as a mascot. So yeah, as I was saying, if you know any steampunk submariners, please send them my way. It would be great. You may want to tell them to bring a harpoon. Does enjoy a little bit of sport. Does play with his food. Can't help that. So anyway, those are the things coming up. I promise more interesting things, more rambling, and always more weirdness. Things will get weirder, things will get more interesting, and things will progress. I'm not stopping now. Giant squid goes adrift with direction of a sort. So, look forward to seeing you, at least virtually, in comments perhaps. That would be great. Comments would be very useful. And some likes, like, subscribe, and follow, as they say. And as always, keep dreaming.